When you meet them in the hospital, it clearly states that apart from the nurses being respectful to their patients, especially the elderly, they are also respectful to even student nurses. The way they love you, the way they make you feel among, they try to teach you and prepare you ahead of things you are going to meet later on in the future as a nurse. You ask yourself if the nurses here are different from the ones there, They also accord same love and respect, even more. Hi Lovelies, welcome back again to another video. If you are new to my channel, if you are seeing this face for the first time, my name is Ruth, BSN graduate from one of the universities here in the Philippines, and you are most welcome to Nurse with Milk. For my old G's, thank you so much guys for always tuning in to watch my video. I do not take it for granted. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing why countries like United States of America, Australia, UK, Canada, New Zealand, Switzerland, Finland, name it, Germany, a lot of these countries, why they employ a lot of Filipino nurses. So without wasting much of your time guys, let's dive right into the video. Number one, Filipino nurses are very nice and friendly. Back in the days of our hospital exposure as a student nurse, I've encountered a lot of Filipino nurses, both in DR, OR, OB, medical ward, pedia ward. I've met with a lot of them and I can attest to it that Filipino nurses are very nice and friendly. Number two, Filipino nurses, oh my god, it's raining. So number 2 points I'm going to give to you guys why a lot of countries employ Filipino nurses is they are very committed and dedicated to their job. Number 3, if you want to talk about those that have good sense of humor, you talk about the Filipinos, These people are jovial. Yeah, Filipino nurses, when you talk about those that have good sense of humor, they are one of them. It has been raining, but I want to finish this video. So I just want to round up this video. Filipino nurses, they make jokes out of everything, I've worked with them during the time we worked as student nurses, and I can attest to this. They don't really take life so serious. They don't transfer their aggression, like what is going on in their life. They don't transfer it on their patients, and at the same time, they don't even transfer it onto us as student nurses. They make jokes out of everything, In summary, they have good sense of humor. Number 4, they are patient and compassionate. The next point is Filipino nurses are smart and at the same time they are caring. The next point, they are very hardworking. This boils down to what I said earlier about them being dedicated and committed to their duties or their jobs as nurses. So the next point is it is no longer news that the Philippines is the #1 exporters of nurses in the world. Yeah, there is hardly any place you would travel in this world and you will not find at least one Filipino nurse there. They produce a lot of nurses every year and their nurses are in high demand. You want to talk about the US, you want to talk about Australia, you want to talk about New Zealand, Canada, name it. You have a lot of them, and a lot of countries are also in demand of Filipino nurses. Yeah. Number 4, they are very respectful and they also show love to their patients. Back then, during the days of our hospital rotation as student nurses, when you meet them in the hospital, the way they respect you, you will not even feel like you are a student nurse. I made a video some time ago where I was sharing my experience with the nurses I met at ICU, how nice and friendly they were to me. Even as a student nurse, the way they respect us as student nurses and the way they show love. I am talking based on my own encounter and based on my own experience with them. I made that video some time ago. That was the last exposure I had as a student nurse. And the nurses I met there, they were so nice. I'm going to leave the link to that video somewhere here. Yeah, you get the link to that video in the description box. There are some places you will work as a student nurse and even as a student doctor, like a clerk. The way you will be treated, you start asking yourself if it is a crime to be a student nurse or if it is a crime to be a student doctor. But you see, with the time I've spent in the Philippines and the hospitals we as students have been exposed to, I will clearly state that apart from the nurses being respectful to their patients, especially the elderly, they are also respectful to even student nurses. I know what I'm saying. In some countries, if you are a student nurse, going to the hospital to practice, you will feel frustrated sometimes and you start asking yourself if it is a crime to be a student nurse. But with the ones I've worked with, I am speaking from my experience, it is not like that. The way they accord you respect, even as a student nurse, the way they love you, the way they make you feel among, they try to like teach you and prepare you ahead of things you are going to meet later on in the future as a nurse. You ask yourself if the nurses here are different from the ones there. You know, this is not a comparison video, but I'm saying this like deep down from my heart. And they also accord same love and respect, even more to their patients, especially the elderly. I worked in OR, DR, a lot of departments with them, and I know how they treat us even as student nurses. They treat us with love, they treat us with respect. We feel welcome, we feel among, even though we are student nurses. But there are some places you go to even as a student nurse. You start asking yourself, is it a crime to be a student nurse? Or is it even a crime to be a student doctor? But here in the Philippines, the hospital I've been exposed to and the nurses I've worked with as a student nurse, they treat you with love, with respect, and they make you feel among. It is something to reckon with. It is something to applaud the Filipino nurses here. Yeah. Like, life is not so serious when you work among the Filipinos. Life is not that serious. They take things easy and simple. The next point is Filipino nurses are empathetic in nature. Back then in school, there was something they taught us about being sympathetic and empathetic towards your patients. You don't sympathize with your patient, but you empathize with them. I mean, you don't just sympathize with them, but you empathize with them. That is, you are not just sharing in their pain, you empathize with them, and which is what Filipino nurses do. You fix yourself in their shoes, like you fix yourself into what they are going through, like you are the one going through it. So in that case, you feel their pain and you know how to treat them, knowing that this could be you know. So Filipino nurses are empathetic in nature. The next point, and which is the last one, is Filipino nurses have a very large heart. What I mean by they have a very large heart is they have a very deep heart. They have heart of gold. Okay, let me use that word. They have heart of gold. You know, Filipino nurses go out of their way for their patients. So with this, I've come to the end of this video, and if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please remember to click on the red subscribe button and join this family. Remember to turn on your post notification bell that says all, so you always be the first to be notified anytime a new video is just on our channel. And until I come your way again next time, I remain your favorite nurse, Ruth, signing out. Love you all. Bye.